Thunderbolt pony in 5 words. Girl with OCD saves horse. Definitely, if I have writer's block, I get out and I ride my horses. I do find that they are absolutely a genuine inspiration for me, and I kind of don't believe in writer's block. I do kind of have that let's just knuckle down and get the work done attitude to writing, and so I will tell myself, you know, look, if you can get through half a chapter, then you can take the afternoon off and go riding. So that kind of pushes me on to get it done. Place and setting play a huge role in my books. When I'm starting to pull together a story, it's often about places I've travelled to or want to travel to, and I'll find stories, because a lot of my most recent work they're based on true stories. So Princess Hire of Jordan, so I've travelled to Jordan for that book. The Palio race in Siena for The Girl Who Rode the Wind, so I had to go to Italy for that one. The Island of Lost Horses is about the rarest breed of horse in the world that lives on a tropical island in the Caribbean, so I had to be in the Caribbean for that, and in Spain where this breed of horse originates. The Diamond Horse, recently I had to go to Moscow to research that one. It's set in Russia in the time of Catherine the Great and in the modern day. And for the new one, the Thunderbolt pony, that's set in Kaikoura in New Zealand during the earthquake. I guess my advice for young writers is read a lot, and when you are reading, actually think about the authors you're reading and what it is you love about their books, and see if you can use those same devices and techniques in your own writing. I plan really heavily before I start to write, and I know it sounds boring, but in a way it really frees you up creatively once you start writing, because you know where you're going with your story. You've got a beginning, you've got a middle, you've got an end. And often I will change as I go, you know, my plans will alter. But it's good to have a framework. It's a bit like a scaffolding that you can then work with. And it just, I think, makes it much easier creatively than if you have nothing to play with at all, because you're kind of working blind without that. So I definitely plan, and I do my research beforehand, because you need facts to throw into a story. And often when I'm researching, the facts that I've found, you know, a lot of the detail gets left out. So 90% of my research sort of stays on the cutting room floor. But the bits and pieces that you do use, they really matter, and they kind of make the flow of the story and the excitement of the story seem so much more natural and real. So do your research, plan, and then sit down and don't believe in writer's block and just get going. My protagonists, well, yeah, my characters are really strong and female, and I think that again comes from being in the horse world. When you're riding and when you have horses, you'll go to the Horse of the Year show and all these huge lorries pull up with all the horses on board, and they're always driven by women, and women managing these huge horses and coping by themselves. And I think that kind of ties in with the idea of the girls in my story. They don't stand back and wait for a man to solve their problems. They solve their own problems, they're fearless. It never occurs to them that they can't do something because they're female, and I really love that about horses and about my characters. Yeah, my girls are pretty tough. They're pretty feisty, and that's why I love them.